What's going on, guys? This is Chandler Smith, and today's video is going to be a little unique because this is a video I've wanted to do for a very long time. However, I've been really intimidated to do it because I haven't wanted to come across as arrogant or boastful or over the top. So the big reason I want to do this video is just to kind of give you the play-by-play of going from having no money and being in a situation financially where it was really concerning to going to where I am now of owning over $8 million worth of real estate, having a very large passive income, and working in a job in door-to-door sales that I absolutely love that also pays me way more than it should. And so to start this, I would jump back to high school. Now in high school, I was really smart with money. I mowed lawns and I built up a pretty good savings. However, I decided I wanted to serve a mission for my church. So I was sent up to Winnipeg, Canada, and I served for 2 years, knocking doors, getting to know people, and getting to serve people. Now, this opportunity was incredible. I learned an awesome skill set of connecting with people, seeing other perspectives, getting inside the homes of people from all over the world because Canada is really like this big melting pot. And it was really eye-opening, but it really helped me to learn how to connect with people and how to speak with people. Now, one thing it didn't help was my financial situation. Now, I wouldn't take it back for the world. It was literally one of the best, if not the best experiences of my life. However, I spent every dime that I'd made in high school. So I came back from this mission extremely poor. I was even to the point where I was having to mooch off my parents to be able to get money for my first semester of college and for my housing. Now, I went out and I applied everywhere for jobs. I probably handed out 25 or 30 different applications to work at different places, and no one would take me. They wouldn't even give me an interview to see if I'd be a good fit. Now, during this time, obviously I was mooching off my parents, but I had the chance to do a bunch of odd jobs. And one of the odd jobs I had was I was pretty good at yard work. That's what I had done before my mission. And so I found a couple different people that would let me go and do yard work. I remember one situation where I got to go and do yard work for this gentleman that owned an eye clinic. Now, there's some professional name for that. I don't remember what it is. I haven't had eye problems, so I don't know. But I'm out there working and I cleaned up leaves, I ripped out some trees, I really just made the place look nice. And he came up to me and he said, "All right, Chandler, what do I owe you?" And I said, well, I mean, heck, I couldn't even get a job for minimum wage. That was probably $8 an hour or something like that. So I did the math in my head. I'd worked the whole day. I looked at him and I said, you know what about, I don't know, $75? Does that sound fair? And I remember he looked at me in the eye and he said, Chandler, you need to learn your worth. And he handed me $200. And I think that was a real game changer for me because really quick, I said, holy cow, I was in this situation where I couldn't even get a minimum wage job, but he thinks I'm worth $200 for the day. And that's when things started to click of, man, I gotta make sure I find the right spot to where I get paid for my worth, or I find a spot where I can get paid the most for the skill set that I have. And so I was still on a job hunt, still doing random jobs, but a guy approached me and said, hey, you're pretty good with people. Why don't you come and knock doors and sell pest control? And I was like, well, hey, I already knock doors. I talk to people. That sounds like a pretty good gig. So I decided after finishing my first semester of college to move out to LA, California and attempt to sell pest control. Now, in the first week, I came out there and I thought I was going to be the man. We were doing a bunch of licensing, getting prepared to start selling, and I spent a week kind of studying the manual, but really being confident and saying, I'm going to be able to sell the world. I'm going to be able to make a ton of money doing this, and I'm just going to kill it. So after a week of preparation, I hit the doors, and I got land blasted. I sucked. I was terrible at this job. I would knock on a door and I would get plowed over by people. I knocked doors for an entire week, not selling accounts. Now you can imagine, I've now spent more of my parents' money, the little bit of savings I'd accumulated from doing odd jobs to get out to California. I was already in debt to my parents for schooling, and I was promised that, hey, the average guy can make 20, 25 grand selling pest control in the summer, but it's a 100% commission job. And I go out and I just get smoked. I mean, totally blasted this first week where I haven't made a single dime. So now in my mind, I'm going, holy cow, I just spent money on gas. I'm spending money on food. I'm in this new apartment my parents are gonna have to pay for. This is a total mess. And all of these feelings of fear and really of doubt started to creep in. And I still remember how terrifying that week was because I was really worried that I was gonna be in a real financial bind and in some real trouble. But over that next week, I was pouring a ton of time into training. I was reading the sales manual. I was learning more about verbal, paraverbal, nonverbal communication. I was learning how to close people, and I just did everything I could to learn everything I could about sales. And so after over a week had gone by, I was out knocking doors, and I knocked on this guy's door, and he answered the door, and right away he said, "Well, I've got a rat in my house. Can you get rid of that?" And I was like, holy cow, we get rid of rats, we can do that. And so I pitched him, I went through, I almost lost him because I was so shaky and scared, but I got that first sale. And within the next 2 or 3 hours, I had closed 3 more sales because things had just clicked for me. I recognized that, man, I can do this. I can sell pest control. Now, what's really cool is in that first week, I had become the worst salesman. You ask anybody out there, we had 40 sales reps, and everyone else had gotten a sale before I had. But in that next week, I threw down. I just went off. I had this incredible week to where I went from the worst salesman to within a week or two, I was the top salesman in the office. After that first week, things really started to click. I was making tons of money, selling tons of accounts. I was having days where I was making over $1,000 a day, and people in the company started talking about how there was this rookie record that hadn't been broken in a couple of years. And the record was 453 accounts in a 3.5 month summer. And I decided, hell or high water, I was going to hit that record. And so I had to deal with all kinds of rejection, negativity, people cussing, long, hard days, people calling the cops on me. There were even a couple days where the cops would show up and make me sit in the cop car while they double checked on my licensing. And so I had to deal with all of this negativity and this struggle. And then on top of that, I had this pressure that I had set on myself where I said, I'm not going to finish the summer until I hit this record. And so I pushed and grinded, and I got to the point where finally, just with a couple days to spare before college was starting up again, I broke the record. And I even threw on a couple extra accounts. And I still remember getting to that 454th account. The second I had it serviced, I called the CEO of our company. I said, hey, I want you to get on and I want you to confirm that I now hold the record. And there was nothing better than when I called the CEO and he said, you know what? You've got it. The record's yours. Now, the record has long since been broke by some of my guys, but that was a real turning point in my life. That was one of those situations where I knew I had done something that a lot of other people were unable to do. On top of that, I made $96,000 in that one summer. And so I went from having literally no money to recognizing that, wow, I'm worth $96,000 after 3.5 months of work. So I was hooked. I decided that I was going to do door-to-door sales the next year, and because I had done so well, they gave me a management position. The next year I came out, I sold even more accounts, and I led a team of 12 guys. Now that year I made $140,000, and I had been living super frugally. I mean, yeah, I could pay for my apartment and I could pay for college and I could eat out more regularly, but in my mind, I was still this poor college student. So all of that money was going into savings. So by this point, after paying taxes, I still had close to $200,000 in the bank. And I decided, wow, I've got to find a place to put this. And that is when I dove into investing in real estate. I was reading everything that Robert Kiyosaki and the Bigger Pockets had to offer. I was connecting with mentors in my town here in Idaho Falls, and I decided I was going to start investing in real estate. Now, I've done a whole playlist of all of the deals I've done, but I'm kind of just going to give you the short and condensed version of the deals I did and how I started to accumulate all of these properties and to grow my net worth. So the first investment I did was a hard money deal where I essentially gave a $100,000 loan to someone. And I talk about how that maybe wasn't the best deal. However, when I was getting a check every month, it got me hooked on investing. I then went on to buy a condo and a couple duplexes, and during this time I led another team, and I had my first year in door-to-door sales from managing a team and from my personal sales where I cleared $200,000. And I don't even remember exactly where the amount was, but I made somewhere between $200,000 and $250,000 that third summer. So after that year of clearing $200,000, I came back and I invested even more into real estate. I got to the point where I purchased an 8-plex, another 4-plex, and this real estate empire really just started to build. The thing that was even cooler than my real estate empire though, is I was giving all of these sales reps the same opportunity. I really fell in love with finding, hiring, and training sales reps because I could literally create duplicates of myself. I could give them the opportunity to come out and make 6 figures in a summer, or clear that $200,000 mark, or start buying their own real estate. And so in the last couple of years, I've just followed the same model. And what's so neat about it is as I have been able to help other sales reps do the same, it's also helped my own income. To where my own income has grown year on year, to where I'm making more and more, and that's giving me more freedom to invest that money into real estate, which has in turn created a bigger and bigger passive income. And so for me, I've been able to make a lot more money and create a passive income, but I've also been able to be an example for all these sales reps so that they could do the same. This last week, now almost 8 years later from that first summer, I asked all of my sales reps that still work for me how many properties they owned, and my sales reps, not including my properties, own over 30 doors of rental real estate, which for me is a huge proud moment. On top of all those investment properties, this last year I was able to help more than 30 sales reps clear $50,000 in earnings. Over 15 of those cleared 6 figures, and I had 4 sales reps that cleared the $250,000 mark, and that's just from one summer. So because of this path that I've taken, it's not only helped me to create this awesome net worth and this awesome passive income, but it's helped me to set an example for my sales reps to not just provide them a summer job, but give them this opportunity to create a huge net worth and passive income. It's given me the opportunity to do the same thing for my sales reps, to really set an example and show them what's possible, and then be able to help them to follow the same course along the way, where they've been able to make a ton of money in the summer, learn how to be a leader, learn how to train and create leaders, learn how to take this money that they've made from door-to-door sales and learn how to reinvest it into real estate so that they can create a passive income for themselves. Now, I know it seems crazy that from knocking doors selling pest control, all of these college kids in their 20s could end up making huge 6-figure incomes and learn how to start investing in real estate. But the reality is this job paid me according to my worth. And that gave me the opportunity to grow a lot faster than I would have been able to anywhere else. A commission job is hard because when you don't sell, you don't sell. But what's so beautiful about owning your own business or investing in real estate or being on a commission job is your success comes according to the work that you put in. According to the rejection you're able to take with a smile and turn it into a positive situation. And I think that's what's so cool about what we do with door-to-door sales and investing in real estate is it's something that anyone can do if they're willing to put in the time and make the sacrifice. Now, as you know, it didn't come immediately, but I doubt you can find many other jobs that are giving kids in their 20s this opportunity to build their net worth that quickly and to be able to own this much real estate and create this kind of a passive income. The passive income and the money is awesome, but what is even more cool is the freedom and flexibility it's given me to live the lifestyle that I want. It's given me the opportunity to travel the world, to go to Japan, to Thailand, to Hawaii multiple times a year, to do all of these incredible trips with my sales reps and with my family. It's given me the opportunity to have the house and the cars that I wanted, to be able to know that I could afford that ring when I felt it was right to marry that girl of my dreams, to be able to take her on all of these awesome trips, and then to give us the freedom and flexibility to know that in our 20s, we were able to have kids and afford them and give them the things that we wanted them to have so that they could have good lives themselves. This job has opened up so many opportunities with investing and with lifestyle and with passive income and all of these things that I never dreamed would be possible in my 20s. And all of this was made possible because of this job, knocking doors, selling pest control, and then taking that money and reinvesting it into real estate. The combination of selling pest control door to door and reinvesting that money into real estate has been a total game changer for my life and for my family's life and for a lot of my friends and sales reps that have come to work with me, that they now have been able to follow the same course. Now, I hope you don't feel like this video has been arrogant or boastful. That was not my intention at all. My goal of this video was for you to see your potential, for you to understand your true worth and recognize that if you can find the right situation or the right job, you can be paid according to your worth, and that is usually way more than what you're currently being paid. And then once you do start to make that kind of an income, if you're smart with it and you reinvest it into something like real estate, you can create a huge passive income for yourself and put yourself in a situation where every year your net worth is increasing, where you can help other people to do the same thing, and where you know you're financially free. You don't have to worry about paying that next bill because you've put yourself in a situation where you can do the things that you want, you can provide for your family, and you can love every day because you know you're financially stable and financially free. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to push the like button and subscribe to the channel, because the goal of this channel is to help you find your worth and create a huge passive income for yourself. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.